Welcome to the Crazy Chicken People podcast. If you're crazy about chickens, then you're in the right place. What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me again today on the Crazy Chicken People podcast. Today, we're talking about one of the more popular chicken breeds, especially as of recent, the Ameraucana. You know, there's lots of reasons this particular bird has caught the attention of so many chicken keepers, but the one thing that everybody really seems to love is the beautiful blue and green eggs that they lay. You know, for a long time, I didn't even know that chickens laid blue eggs, or green, or some of the other cool colors I've been seeing lately for that matter. And I don't know about you, but when I discovered this, I knew that I had to get some in my flock. I actually revamped my entire chicken flock specifically for this reason. And it's been paying off. A lot of my new girls have been laying just these awesome colors, have been so excited about it. And I see a ton of these getting shared as well. It's so cool that everyone's so excited about their new eggs. I love it. And while the Ameraucana is very well known for their blue eggs, they're not the only bird that lays them. The Ameraucana and the cream leg bar are just a couple others that also carry the blue egg gene. In fact, the Ameraucana is one of the breeds originally used to help create the Ameraucana, as we'll talk more about later. So, what other reasons has this particular bird become so popular? Well, that's what we're about to get into. But first, some history on this unique breed. The Ameraucana is a relatively recent addition to the world of poultry. Developed in the United States in the mid-20th century, the Ameraucana was created by breeding several different breeds, including Araucanas, with the goal of producing chickens that laid blue or green eggs, but without some of the parent breed's more problematic traits. The Araucana, originally from Brazil, has ear tufts. It's a feather growth right near the ear area that can lead to ear infections if they're not kept clean. In fact, the hatch rate of Araucanas can be much lower than that of other breeds due to this genetic mutation that causes the ear tufts. Araucanas are also rumpless, lacking the tail feathers that are quite prominent on the Ameraucana, especially on the roosters. Because those who were developing the Ameraucana had a desire to create a well-rounded bird that would be equipped to handle life here in the U.S., several other lines were also used to breed with the Ameraucana, including both American and English game fowl. These really contributed to the overall build and vigor of the Ameraucana as we see today. As a breed, the Ameraucana was officially recognized by the American Poultry Association in 1984. There are several recognized colors, including black, blue, blue wheaten, red-brown, buff, silver, wheaten, and white. I also read that the Splash Ameraucana will soon be recognized as well, but I don't believe that's official yet. These can all be found in both standard and bantam sizes as well. Ameraucanas are often confused with Easter eggers, or maybe the other way around, which are not a recognized breed, but also do lay blue, green, pink, and other off-shade colors of eggs. The Easter egger is actually a cross of a blue egg-laying bird with a brown egg layer, and Ameraucanas are often used for creating these mixes. In fact, you've probably noticed, if you've gotten some Easter eggers, especially from large hatcheries, they often develop the puffy cheek feathers and muffs and beards that the Ameraucana is so well known for. Unfortunately for the breed, however, some of the large hatcheries have also been selling birds which look a lot like an Ameraucana, having the muffs, the beards, laying the blue or green eggs, but because they've been bred with other chicken breeds likely to help increase egg production, these are not true Ameraucanas. In fact, if you do see Ameraucanas being sold in a feed or farm store, take a look at how the name is spelled. Ameraucana, the chicken breed we're talking about, is spelled with a U in it, and intentionally leaving out the I. This was a decision made by the original breeders of this bird who felt that because development of this line was such a group effort, they decided that there should be no I in Ameraucana. However, you may see Ameraucanas being sold in a feed store with the name being spelt like the continent, America. Likely a way to work around the fact that these birds are not, in fact, true Ameraucanas. Besides the blue eggs, I think one thing that has really drawn people to the Ameraucana chicken as of lately is their friendly and docile personalities. This makes them a very popular backyard breed for chicken keepers who appreciate these types of qualities and enjoy keeping their chickens as much as pets as they are a food source or anything else. They are a hardy bird, easily able to thrive in cold climates, and they can tolerate heat okay, but are not the ideal hot climate breed. I actually have one coop and run that is reserved just for my Ameraucanas. I know they would do okay getting the same warm weather treatment that I provide the rest of my flock, but knowing that they have those small combs and wattles, which does make it tougher for them to shed heat, I do give them a little extra attention in the summer. They've got the best mister set up. They were the first ones to get a solar fan installed on their coop, and I think I pay them just a little bit more attention than I do the other coops when we are going through some of that real bad heat. We've got some hot summers here in Sacramento. This year actually wasn't bad, but I like to just try to make sure I'm doing a little bit extra for them this time of year. So what are some of the pros and cons of keeping the Ameraucana chickens? On the plus side, you do have the colorful eggs. Hens will lay blue or green tinted eggs, which can add a unique and attractive feature to your egg basket. Many people enjoy having a variety of egg colors, and the Ameraucana can certainly help contribute to that. They've got a great temperament. Ameraucanas are known for their calm and friendly nature. They're often really good with children, easy to handle, and just make them really great birds to enjoy with the whole family. They're hardy birds, as I mentioned, generally able to tolerate a range of climates. With proper care, they can thrive in both cold and hot weather. They're also a beautiful bird. Ameraucanas have a distinct appearance. With the fluffy muffs and beard, they just really stand out in a crowd full of chickens. Adding to their charm is the range of colors that you can find them in. There's also great breeding opportunities when you do have Ameraucanas in your flock. Not only are they great birds to breed on their own, but they can also be used when you want to expand on your egg color variety. We mentioned Easter eggers, which can lay a variety of colors. Olive eggers, which are also really popular right now, they lay an olive green colored type egg. And this is a result of mixing a blue egg layer, like the Ameraucana, with a dark egg layer, like the black copper Moran, Wells Summer, or Barnevelder. I'm actually setting up a breeding pen for next spring where I'm going to be keeping my favorite Ameraucana rooster, his name is Atlas, with some of my Barnevelders and Wells Summers. If you're not familiar with Wells Summers, they lay a darker shade egg, not as dark as a Moran, but it is a nice shade and it's speckled. So crossing these two should give me a fairly light colored green egg, hopefully with speckles on it. Crossing with the Barnevelders should also give me a good olive colored egg as well. Ideally, I'll take the hens that come from hatching those eggs, breed those back to a black copper Moran rooster, and start to develop an even darker shade of green egg, and hopefully bring some of that speckling along as well. Either way, I do know those birds are going to be awesome because Zeus and Atlas are some of the most impressive roosters I've ever seen. And yes, I'm definitely showing my bias here. Okay, now the cons of keeping Ameraucanas. And going right back to the eggs, while they are beautiful, they also tend to lay fewer eggs when compared to some of the more prolific layers, such as a Rhode Island or a Longhorn. 3, maybe 4 eggs a week is to be expected during regular laying season, and they do tend to shut it down in the colder months, so not great for a year-round layer. If you're looking for high egg production, may not be the best choice. Although I will say, one of my Easter eggers, I can tell that she was bred from an Ameraucana and a Rhode Island Red. She lays a really pretty pink egg, and she's usually good for 4 or 5 a week. So I guess some of the crosses back to the higher yielding layers has worked out. They are known to go broody. Now, this can be desirable if you want to raise chicks, but it can reduce egg production. Quick note on broodiness, and it's a little off topic, but our little girl, Britney Spears, just the cutest little white silky, she's been trying to hatch eggs since early in spring. And the blue jays were a real problem at that point. They kept getting in and pecking at her eggs, so it was kind of sad. I really felt for her. It took me a while to get her coop fixed up to the point that the blue jays could no longer get in there, but she did just hatch out 3 little babies, and they are just ridiculously cute. I've been showing pictures and video of them to whoever is around, whoever will look. I'm just so happy for her. You know, they live with her and Jeffrey, their dad, in a little grow-up pen, and watching them learn from their parents, learn how to peck and scratch around from mom and dad is just amazing to see. I've actually posted a couple of videos of this on my Instagram if you want to check it out. Okay, back to Ameraucanas. The cost can also be a con. Ameraucana chickens are often more expensive to purchase when compared to the common backyard breeds that you're going to find at the feed and farm stores. If you go to a breeder, which I would recommend if you really want to get a pure Ameraucana chicken, you're going to pay a little bit more, but you're typically going to get a higher quality bird, and it is worth the extra few bucks. Space requirements can also be a downside on this chicken. The Ameraucana does require a decent amount of space to roam and forage. They're actually really good free-ranging birds. I let mine out. I try to do it daily so that they can get out and run around. If they have a limited amount of space, you might want to consider this also, making sure that they're able to get out every day. They really literally like to spread their wings. Typically, when I let them out of their run, the first thing I see them do is get a good running start, jump up and fly a little distance, and it's like all that energy has finally gotten a chance to be released. I do plan to expand their run and going to try to provide about 20 square feet per bird in there, and I think that that'll keep them a little bit happier during the times that they are confined. It's not like they're super cramped or anything where I have them, but you just really see when they get out how much they do enjoy getting a chance to run around and dig and scratch in some new dirt. Hopefully in a couple more weeks, I will have that run opened up a bit, and I think they're going to be super happy. Ameraucanas are also slow to mature. So with typical breeds around 16, 17 weeks, you're probably starting to count the days and wonder when you're going to get that first egg. With the Ameraucana, you might be waiting 5 or 6 months or so. Mine actually just kind of barely started laying right at the 5-month mark. And even with that, it's been pretty hit and miss. In a flock with 5 hens, I think I've gotten 4 eggs now over the past 2 weeks. And these are the very small little fairy eggs, or as I recently heard that classier people call them, little fart eggs. But hopefully over the next 2-3 weeks, I'll start to see a little bit more consistency coming out of there and be collecting more eggs than I have been. Now, if you are interested in Ameraucanas, whether it's getting the first few for your flock or even in breeding them, I would recommend checking out the Ameraucana Breeders Club. This is an organization that's been around since the 70s and is dedicated to keeping the breed standards intact. They've got a great website with a lot of resources if you're interested in more of the history of this chicken, showing these birds, or just connecting with some breeders. In fact, they keep a log of registered breeders from across the country with contact information, I believe, in case you're looking for someone in your area to start your own flock with. I was actually going to avoid raising Ameraucanas for quite a while, and I think what had turned me off of them initially was the fact that they don't lay a ton of eggs. But after getting some, and I've just now started to realize the benefit of getting their eggs. But prior to that, they were an awesome bird to have around. Super friendly. I've got a few that really enjoy being pet. Knowing that I'll be able to use those birds in my breeding program to create some cool olive and Easter eggers down the road, that's pretty exciting. They're just an all-around really cool bird to have as part of your flock. If you've got some room to add a couple more, I would absolutely recommend looking into these if you haven't yet. That's all I've got for today. Just wanted to share some of this information on what has become one of my favorite types of chickens, one that I'm sure I will be adding more of to my flock in the near future. If you guys enjoyed learning about the Ameraucana, I would love to hear that. There's a few other breeds that I would really like to do a spotlight episode on, so any feedback would be really appreciated. Thanks for making me a part of your day. Look forward to talking to you guys again soon.